Hello guys, my name is Taha. Today we will try to create simple React application by using FourSquare API, and basically the application will be something like that. When we write something, for example tag, it will explore and it will find the uh, whole venues around us and show us with address and name. Okay, so first, right, for example, right now as a starter kit, like when you open the application, it searches for tag. If I change it and make, let's say, pop, as you see it changed. The logic is basically whenever we submit this button, we make fetch request from API, and we show it to user. So I already wrote create React app comment, and I have here my application. As you see, this is the starter kit. So let's start. First of all, I will do the fetching stuffs, let's say the whole get request Ajax request from API by using Axios. So I will add Axios because I don't like this normal fetch method. When you use it, you have to convert to JSON, and there is another thing. So this is I believe best way to fetch data from somewhere and also post something. So first of all, this is our application and we will use this one. First of all, what we want as a first, when the user opens this application, we want to learn location of user. How can we do it? For this, hopefully we have this navigator geolocation function that comes from our browsers, so we can use this one. Sorry for that. And actually I don't like Mozilla developer tools. I like W3 Schools more because it's handy most of the times. Here we go. So as you see here, we have this function, and there is this is to check whether the browser supports or not this geolocation stuff. We don't have to check it right now because our purpose is to keep it simple as much as possible. Anyway, right now I will copy this one. As you see here, this function returns callback, which is when you write here another function. Maybe you know already callback, but I want to explain that one also. So it basically says when you run this function gives you the option to run another function with argument, and this argument will be response. So in the ES, when you write this thing in ES6, it will be something like that. Let me make it bigger. So here I will have function, let's say get location. Okay, and this get location function, I don't want to bind, sorry for that, I don't want to bind every time when I write functions, so I will use arrow functions. Then I don't have to bind every time when I use set state or when I want to access state. So here I will just pass this thing, and right now instead of show position, I will use also arrow functions. So I will say response, and here we go. This is my function. So instead of running functions separately, I will just use here. And I want to see first of all what's the response. So let's see it. Console log response. And to run this function, we can use life cycles, which is component did mount. Whenever component mounted, just I want to run this function, and like this. So right now if I open my web page. Let's make it bigger. I don't see anything because I deleted everything. Here inside the console, I have something that called position, and inside this position there is coordinates, and the latitude and longitude is here. So these two things is what I need to fetch stuffs from FourSquare API. What can I do with these things? First of all, let's create our state, and to create it I will use this package. Let me show you. Yes, this one. So if you search with this name, you can find everything will be easier. It makes your life so easy. So right now, let's say let long, and it will be empty for now. Whenever I get the response, I want to set state with let long. And what was the answer? Actually, let's check first, then use it. So as you see, there is a position, and inside position we have chords and latitude, longitude. So if I say here, I think if I say here position, I should see, oh okay, then instead of position, I think I should say directly response dot chords. Let's see. Oh, sorry, type. So yeah, I have right now coordinates, and I need latitude and longitude. The structure that I want is something like that. For example, there will be latitude and then comma, then longitude. Okay, so this is what I need to fetch data from FourSquare's API, and let's do it. First of all, if I say chords latitude and plus response long, sorry, I don't wanna long t with yes, I think it's correct. So this is not correct one. I think longitude, sorry. So right now I have this. Let me check. Oh, I forgot this chord. Sorry. So right now I think I should have correct one. Yeah, this is what I need. So whenever someone opens this website, I will fetch first, I will learn location of user. Let's store this thing in state. So this set state let long, and then here we go. So for example, right now if I go React and want to see state, as you see here, I'm storing this one. After that, the second thing is I want to fetch venues around me by using FourSquare's API. So FourSquare's, I think you will have this FourSquare's API stuff, but let's check the structure. I believe you will have this. You will have the, let me paste here. You will have this client ID and client secret, because when you register, that they will give you this thing. So basically their applications endpoint is, let me create first get venues function, then so here is our endpoint. This is from FourSquare's APIs. Let's go there. Actually, I want to show you, because this is also important. I think the one that we want is explore. Where is explore? Yeah, this one, recommendations. So this is our API endpoint, and this is parameters. For now, I'm not gonna take each of them one by one because our time is limited. So I will use what I have already, and this is for each API. This is different, and our purpose is right now not API, explaining API, how to fetch something from API. So this is my client ID. When you register, you will get all of them, and this is our latitude and longitude. And as you see, I stored already here in state, and I take it from state. And this is query. What is this? So basically, you saw the first application when you type something. Right now, it's actually it should be here. So we will pass as an argument, and this is basically the name of venue. When you know, I think you know already what's query. The most of the APIs, they use query, so to fetch specific information, let's say. And right now I have parameters and endpoint. I can use Axios, but I think I installed Axios. Yeah, so let's import it first. And right now I will say here, I have these parameters and endpoint. I will say Axios get, and then endpoint plus. So normally I can write these things one by one, like for example, client ID is equal this thing, but this is not good practice. The good practice is to write them as an object. Then we can use this built-in function, new URL search params, which is when you write here this object, it returns like client ID equal this thing, and then it puts and stuff, which is like this one, and basically it makes all these parameters properly. Then you can make the request directly. So right now, if this Axios thing gives you, it returns promise, and is in promise there is my response. So let's first let's console log this response. But we didn't run this function. So here is the point right now. If I run this function, if I say after getting location just run this function, I will get error. Why? Because this set state is asynchronous, and when I run this function, basically what will happen, it will run this set state function, but it's not gonna wait until you set state. It will run immediately this one, and this one needs this state let long, and it will be undefined, or yeah, this thing undefined. So we should run this function after setting state, and hopefully set state has this option. When you put after set state another function, so it takes callback. It means whenever this thing is done, then run this function. So hopefully right now it will work. If I go back and console, here we go. I have here data, and inside data there is response, and inside response there is groups, and inside groups there is 0, and inside 0 there is items, and inside items all the items. Menu. Yeah. So for now, we when we run this function, this query is undefined. That's why we didn't get anything. As a starting point, I will write tech again. So first, when we run this function, the query will be tech, and the data that comes from API will be different. Response, groups, 0, items. Yeah, 18 item, and each of them has venue. So I want to access this nested arrays. Let's write one by one. First of all, inside response we have data, right? So whenever you work with Axios, everything comes in data. And inside data, response, and inside response, groups, and inside groups, I think, yeah, this is array, so it's not object. 0, this is first, right? Then inside this, items. Let's refresh and see inside console. Yes, perfect. Right now we have all the venues, and of course I don't want to console log them. I will just set them. I will just store them in state. Is set state, and here venues. And right now, if I check in React, I should see here, yes. Let me make it bigger. So here we go. We have right now here venues, and we can print them directly. Let's print them first, then we can put input stuff. So inside this div, which is not proper right now, I want to, oh sorry, first of all everything will be inside this. So inside this I want to take this state venues. Actually, let's add it here also. Right now it's empty array. Venues map. It will give us one by one all the venues, and here if I say, I think I can return first. We can put all the things inside UL, unordered list, and we can return list. Nope. Yes, and venue, sorry, it should be inside this venue. I don't know what comes. Let's check first. Console, I think. Oh no, we here. So right now inside array, each of them has venue and name. Okay, so venue, and again venue, name. Right now I should see here all the things. Yes, and the other thing is I want to show also the location, right? So again, inside each of them, venue, location, and address. I can put here space, and then location is venue, game venue, location, and address. Let's see, here we go, we have location and name right now. So the only thing is we need to add this input here. So to achieve this thing, I will create another component. I want to show you also how to import another component from another file to another one. I will use also this one, and here we have input, and input name is search input, also ID also same, and here we have also button. This button will be search. Okay, and let's put here placeholder also. So right now in this function I want to track all the changes. So on change I will run one function, which is I didn't create right now. Let's create it. Change handler or form handler, whatever you want. And here I will say change handler, and here we will have event, and I want to show you what does it mean also. So I will say event, actually console log event target, which is right. Oh sorry, first we should also inside app.js import this search, put import search, and let's return it here. So you should see here search, yes. So right now whenever I write something, and this is error that comes from here, the parent let's say element should has key props, which is right now we can give name, or we can put here inside map another parameter as a key, and we can print this one as well. But I want to print this one right now. We should get rid of this error, yes, hopefully. And right now if I write something, you see, right, I have this all the information about this input. And if I say instead of target value, I will get the value that I wrote here, you see. So what I will use this, I will store this thing in state first of all, but we don't have state. First let's create state, and here I will say search input. Right now it's empty, and change handler this set state, and search input is event target value. Okay, so right now whenever I write something, I will be stored here in search input. Let's change, yes, that's what I want. So let's fix this one also. Whenever I press this search button on click again, I want to run this get venues function with another query. So how can I access this function in this component? I can pass as a props. Here I will say get values, and the function also will be get values, this get values. So, and here I can use this name. I will say this whenever someone clicks this one, use inside props get values. But get values, how I should use some like that. First null, and then this state. I will explain this one. Search input, make it pretty. So right now if I press this button, let's try first search. Yeah, it changed. And if you want to use also enter button, you can put all the things inside form. Right now it doesn't work because it's not form, and inside form I can say basically let's put everything inside form, and this button, instead of on click this button, I will say type of this button is submit. So whenever someone presses this button, just submit this form. And here I will say whenever someone on submits, then this function comes from props we passed here, you know. So we use this name, and we can call it whatever you want. It doesn't matter at all. And here, first of all, if we run this function directly without null and bind, it will cause infinite loop, because in JSX when we write like this with parentheses, it means run this function, and it doesn't wait for anything. Oh, actually for now it waits, but normally if we say on click, actually let's try. I will try right now. Oh, search input, and should has this state search input. It's better to show you this. So right now you can see I have error. What is going on? No, sorry. So this is already inside. We are already inside get values. So right now we should get normally kind of error. As you can see, I make a lot of requests without stopping. Why? Because when we write like this, it runs, like it starts to run, and it's not gonna stop until we close the page, and it will cause infinite loop. So to prevent this, we say bind and null. Sorry, not here. Get values, bind, and null, and this value. So it basically creates another function. It creates an instance of this function, and whenever when we submit, it runs just for once. So it prevents this infinite loop, as you see right now. If I say up, just one, and enter also works fine. So I think everything is done right now. So, as you can see, when we pass function that uses argument as a props, we should use this bind null stuff. So basically we create instance of this function first, then we use it, and we do it whenever we submit, or if it's here on click, whenever we click. Otherwise, this is GSX, and it takes this function as a normal command and it runs always. Okay, so it causes infinite loop. I think everything is done. You can print whatever you want here, and I highly recommend you to play with it and do something more. Thank you so much. I hope this video could help you to understand basics of React. Good luck in the challenge. Bye bye.